Black Oni.
You're now listening to the Black Oni podcast.
Welcome everyone at home to another exciting episode of the Black Oni podcast. I'm here with two people that I am so thrilled to be bringing you today. So, we're going to start with our first guest. We're going to do our introductions, of course. You all are listening to the Black Oni podcast if you are on YouTube or iTunes or Twitch or whatever platform you decide to listen. So, the first person we're going to present here is Brichetta. Hey, that's you.
Hi. I know, it me. It me.
Where can people go to catch more of you?
You can follow me on Instagram as Mr. Death, and you can follow me on Twitter. That's it for now.
Yo, everything, we just missed a quarter of what you just said.
Yeah, that was all condensed into 5 seconds.
Really?
I think I heard your PlayStation just turned on, so I think the connection
Oh no,
Yeah,
that was
PlayStation
over
on.
here.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it was your fault.
Yeah, I would blame me.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah, probably.
Brichetta on Twitch, Alcoholic Glitch on the Twitters.
On Twitter, and Mr. Death on Instagram.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And we have our special guest of the day, Mr. Sean.
I'm the special guest.
You are absolutely
Oh, I feel
our
great.
special guest.
I feel so good.
So before we even do the formal introduction, the Chocolate Thunder guys told me about you. He was like, bro, make sure you're following him. He's mad cool. I looked at your stuff. I was like, all right, let's try to get him on a cast because we have so many people on our crew who adore Overwatch. I was like, it would be wrong not to.
That's awesome, and I love talking Overwatch pretty much 100% of my day. I don't know if you could tell. I'm kind of into the game. It's I got my McCree gun. I'm ready to go. I got my Soldier 76 statue.
So jealous.
And I'm glad that you asked me on the podcast because nobody asks me to do anything anywhere. So I was so cripplingly alone that when you asked me, I was like, yes. So let this be, to anybody watching, if you need me to come to your children's birthday party and entertain them, or I have a good 5-minute comedy set I could do. But I guess we could talk about Overwatch. I guess we could just focus on Overwatch. Hi, I'm Sean.
Where can people go to get more of Sean?
They can go to playoverwatch.com because I'm about supporting the brand. You can follow me on Twitter at also robots. It's probably mostly Overwatch retweets of stuff. So I'm a ghost. I really don't exist. I just I just support the brand from behind the scenes. So, but I do community management for Overwatch, particularly focused on relationships with influencers. So people that stream our game, do YouTube, everything to cosplay stuff. People that do makeup tutorials for our game. I think that's one of the coolest things about it is that the community is so diverse. There's so many people not just interested in playing Overwatch, but doing other things around Overwatch. So I tend to be the point of contact and manager for a lot of those people.
It's totally legit. And I think I speak for a lot of people when I say I'm really happy that the community manager role exists because it's really just so important for the developers to be in tune with what the community is doing and saying and engaging in and actively discussing. So again, I'm really happy that you're here because we get to talk about some of the stuff that we've been experiencing in our own play sessions. And both Mitzi and myself, we both actually met playing Overwatch. And funny little side story about that.
How did you guys meet playing Overwatch?
So, our buddy Itsioru, his name's Chris Lascano. He's an amazing cosplayer, and he linked us together while we were just playing together. We were just playing, and he was going to be the other person that we were going to have on the cast, but our other guy was like, I really want to come in. So
Jordan,
yes.
Let this be a lesson to you, Jordan. This could have been us.
We could have been together.
Yeah, we could have been something, Jordan. Okay, go. So go on with the story.
And we were in the middle of trying to capture an objective, and I noticed that the other team was waiting for. Which map was this? It was the one with the. It was like the gong.
I think it was.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it was the Senyata one. It was crap.
I forget
it's
the
my
name.
favorite too. Yeah.
I forget the names of the maps all the time.
Yeah. So Nepal, I know Sanctum, and then there's two other ones.
And it was the King of the Hill version, so whoever, was
right,
of the Hill.
right, yeah.
And so I noticed that the other team was like, they were waiting for us to come. I was like, oh shit. And I was using May, and I put a wall up as soon as she was about to do something, and she didn't notice, because this was our first time playing, she didn't notice it was me, so she's like, who's this bitch ass May getting in our way? I was like,
I did not say that. Did I really say the B word?
I'm pretty, 98.97% sure bitch ass was part of that sentence.
He was just trying to help.
I was using Junkrat. No. He used it more than once. He literally used the wall every time, and I'm like, why are you putting up a wall in front? Like, literally, she or Will locked me in between the corners of the map so many times, and I'm Junkrat, and obviously I'm screwing myself over, and I died. I don't even know how many times. And I'm like, all right, I'm tired of this mate. Who is this mate?
Right. So through your fiery anger and hatred of the May, you guys found friendship. Exactly. Did you win that match?
Did we win?
No, we didn't. No, I don't think we did.
Listen,
that's
not my fault.
Hey, man, I mean,
so
that's happened to me before, where I'll be playing and I'll be in chat and I'll be like, come on, 76. We need you to get more eliminations than that, or you need to
Please
switch.
take care of the Thera.
Yeah,
and then someone shows up and is like, oh, hey, man, I'm 76. And then it's this awkward, oh, no. Oh,
yeah,
no.
they're just like,
I thought I had free reign here. The one specific time where me and this dude were, going back and forth. And then I was like, I take back everything I said. You're great. And he's like, you're great. And then we just started playing together. I think that's one of the things that's wonderful about the game, especially when you get to a competitive level, is that everybody wants to win, but I think everybody wants to win in different ways. And so it's just you forge relationships really, really quickly. Because you kind of have to. You kind of have to be communicative on a different level in order to be successful. So it allows you to just kind of go right through a lot of stuff that other games might not. Exactly. But yeah, so yeah, I have a group of people that I play with. I think we have 6 people every night playing on PS4. And we're gradually trying to get over to PC, but I'm a Bastion main, and people yell at me on PC for being a Bastion main.
I yell at with all
Will's
due respect
that one guy that yells.
to you, I already fucking love you. All right, I fucking hate Bastion with a passion. It's burning. I love every other character, literally every other character.
I think for me, it's I am much more straight on DPS. I can't emotionally deal with not being on the stat sheet. Like my little brain can't handle it. So like playing a character where you're doing a lot for your team, like a Mei, for instance, and like you're ISOing people so that they can get focused and get killed.
Yeah.
And that's not showing up on the stat sheet in the same way that like kills or damage or objective kills shows up on the stat sheet. I can't handle that. Like I can't be a part of my team and then not know exactly like where I stood in that game.
Right.
So I will probably play Bastion to a fault just to get them golds, and then people are like, you need to switch, and I'm like, but I have golds, and they're like, but that doesn't matter, and then I'm like, well, I'm not playing anymore. I'm just gonna sit here at the start point. Don't do that. Don't sit at the start point.
Don't be that one guy.
I honestly think I've never quit a competitive match.
Me neither. Like, I paid for this game. I'm gonna keep trying.
Exactly. So
yeah, I can't do it.
There's so many like great things to talk about. Before we even get to our icebreaker, I wanted to ask you real quick.
Yeah.
So, what is stopping you from playing on? Like, do you want to play on PC necessarily for any other reason other than like ease of use on PC? Because like I have it on. I just built a PC like back in late November, early December.
Right.
And I had Overwatch since launch, so like I would have to buy the game twice, of course. And I'm considering like the pros and cons of doing that. In your experience of playing on both.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, buy the game twice, and maybe buy it 3 times if you want to
give one away or something, right?
Get in your special Overwatch buy-in outfit, that's all Overwatch licensed gear, and start buying more copies.
Okay.
I think that's do you need 2 copies on Xbox? Probably don't, but it'd be nice to have.
Does it really hurt?
No, I think it actually plays like 2 different games on PC and PlayStation 4, or just on PC and console in general. It's interesting because it seems like, obviously the PC community, that's where competitive lies, and that's where a lot of the more hardcore levels of the game competitively exist. But I also think that there's a lot of merit to high-level console players. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with DSP Stanky, the Lucio that's like off the charts.
Mm.
Yeah, like he started on console, and everyone was like, "Oh, you could never do that on PC." And then he went on PC, and now he just plays pretty much, I think, exclusively on PC. But like,
he's still a grandmaster.
Yeah.
Or master, actually.
Wow.
Like Farah is so much more difficult and more of a force, at least in my opinion, on PlayStation 4 than she is on PC, because like hit scan is just always going to work better on PC. I feel like just because of the mouse aspect of it, you can get more precision out of that.
For sure.
So it just changes up the meta of the game. And I think that's like one thing that's very, very healthy about the game, is that like there's a constantly changing meta. And I think like they just did the changes with percentages to competitive play. And I think one of the interesting things, the jury's still out on how people feel about it, as with every change that happens in Overwatch. It dynamically changes how you think about the game. So it's like if I'm on offense, or if the other team's on offense and they get 1% of a capture now, and then they don't take it, all we have to get is 1% to win. So it completely changes how you think about offense and defense. And I think like ultimately that's really cool, because like every style is going to be different. You play on PC, it's going to have a different kind of meta. You play competitive, just quick play, it's going to have a different kind of meta. So yeah, I mean, I think it's worth it. Honestly, like we're going to switch all over to PC, but I probably will still play console.
Okay.
Plus, I'm so close to platinum, and if I don't get platinum, I'm going to lose my mind.
We definitely need to play together, because I didn't know you were on PS4, so that will be a great opportunity for us to actually like get some game time in. That'll be fun.
I'm totally down, man. I'm pretty much always on.
$20 and I'll get you to diamond.
Yes. No, don't do that. Carrying is bad. Carrying is bad. Yeah. See, I'm like trying to think back to like anytime you ask me a question, I'm like, somebody posted on the forum, like Jeff Goodman posted on the forums about this, or Jeff Kaplan posted on the forums about this, and now I remember carrying's bad. Don't carry. So that's exactly, do not carry. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just a different game. I think, and I think that playing one helps you understand the other a lot better as well.
Makes sense. So, the original icebreaker question that we had, I love these conversations because we get to just talk about everything that kind of goes on.
Just excited to talk Overwatch, man.
Dude, so excited. What is your go-to gaming beverage when you play anything? Not just Overwatch, but anything.
I think for me at this point in my life, like, it's like a good IPA, like a solid IPA. And then like once I have two beers, I'm such a lightweight when it comes to beer.
Me too.
Oh, so bad, man. Like, and there's times where like
Listen.
I don't. every group of friends knows the person that's like the lightweight and cannot handle more than like a couple drinks, but like it's great because I don't have to pay that much money
exactly
to drink. I'm like 1-2 beers and I'm good to go. But like I always have these moments when I'll come home from work and I'll drink like a beer and a half, maybe 2 beers, and there's this moment of like, oh no, like how am I going to do with this? Like, I don't know if I can handle this. And then if you just let that go and you don't focus on like, oh, I've been drinking and I'm playing this game, then you can just zone right in and it's awesome. Yeah, sometimes I'll do really well and then I'm like, how did I even do that? So yeah, I like that definitely. I quit soda 1.5 years ago.
Okay.
But I used to drink like double gulps every day.
Oh man.
So that's probably not good for my insides.
Yeah, I dropped soda, but I'm still drinking beer.
I mean,
yeah.
Like, it's me. Like, ooh, soda, chugging alcohol.
Beer doesn't have acid. And I don't know if that name is bad, but people have said it's bad, so
right.
I'm just going to listen.
Just going to listen to them and like, oh, you know what? You're right.
Speaking of drinking, like, I drink so much, and I've noticed that when I drink and play Overwatch, I always play Mercy.
You
like,
do. You legit do. Like, I'll volunteer to be the heal, because I like healing too. Like, I'll volunteer to help. You're just like, no.
It's all I can do. Like, I can be Lucio, but I get so carried away by jumping off the walls and stuff that I just end up dying all the time. So I'll go Mercy and just stick behind my tanks. Yeah. And I logged into my profile and I saw my career profile and I have about 68 hours on Mercy and I'm like, ha! Is that how much I drink?
A lot of time drinking.
I know. I'm just like, oh, crap.
It just means like you're like a really supportive drunk. Like you care about other people's needs when you're drinking.
You're not wrong.
And yeah, I mean, I think that's great. That's why I play Bastion, is that like you can create, like the meta can become sophisticated, but it's only as sophisticated as you want it to be. Like if you just want big gun deploy, shooty shoot, like you can just do that, and then I don't have to think about cooldowns and like positioning and all that kind of stuff.
No,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. For me, this is so between like obviously water, because I stream for a long, like whenever I play, I'm pretty much streaming anytime I play. So like I'm always like streaming for a long time. But yeah, I do like to have like some refreshing, beer to go along with some of my gaming sessions. I'm gonna go grab it. I just tried out a drink. What was it, Thursday? It was actually, I can just tell you guys what it's called. It's a beer, but it's got like passion fruit and like floral essence in it, and it's just like ridiculously good. Like my girlfriend's like a beer connoisseur, and she had some. She's just like, oh my god, I need this in my life. It's called I'm not sponsored by them, by the way. If anyone's asking, this isn't a sponsored message.
But he would like to get paid.
Yeah, he would like to be sponsored.
If they decide they want to, I'm happy to do that.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is sponsored by Tom's Shoes.
It's called
Shoes right to your door.
Avery Lilikoi Kipolo.
Oh, that sounds fancy.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that sounds real fancy.
I'm gonna put it in the
I don't know.
Twitch
Can
chat.
we afford it?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, for a 6-pack, it's like $10, so it's a little more expensive than some other stuff, but so worth it.
Yeah, I like IPAs, but I'm so not picky within that like subgenre.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is bad. I shouldn't be saying this. Now I just go and look like what's the highest alcohol by volume, because then I'm like, all I need is one beer.
Exactly.
But like, you see, you
8%
gotta
will do it.
You can do that 6 times a week with a 6-pack, and you're good.
It's like hitting 88 in the DeLorean. Like, you've got to drink enough to be like, woo! Because if you don't, and you don't hit that 88, it's like, it's bedtime.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm going to bed now.
Yeah.
Aww.
And Mitzi over there, she's like, "Oh, you guys are so cute."
I know.
Old.
No.
I skateboard to work. That's exercise. I mean, it's mostly downhill. It's mostly downhill both ways. I don't know how that's possible,
Wait.
but it's definitely... Yeah, it's like an MC Escher painting to get.
I was like, how does that work?
Yeah, it's really fun.
Oh, that's so
But yeah,
good.
beer for me.
That's so good. So, guys, what have you been playing?
Move.
Who wants to go first?
Let's have you go first.
Well,
or
yeah, you go first.
Okay.
Well, I've been only playing Overwatch like right now because
Look,
of the new map.
You don't have to say that because I'm here. I see the amiibos. I know.
Well,
It's okay.
She tried to
You can
darken it in the
tell-
background so you couldn't
what-
tell.
what else am I gonna play? Like nothing has come out for the Nintendo Switch yet. I'm waiting for Splatoon 2.
I mean, are you sure you're not? Have you beat Zelda?
We don't talk about that right now.
Oh, are you on the same like area in Zelda that I am? Because like, hang on, and maybe Nintendo's gonna like sue the shit out of you and like DCMA you because I'm like showing footage of their game right now.
Nah,
But,
they don't
like-
care.
And spoilers for Zelda, even though there's no story and it doesn't matter.
I know you can just walk in and be Ganon.
it's so I'm on this one, the Gerudo temple one.
I'm on my way, actually, to the Gerudo Temple.
It makes me use my brain, and I don't like that. I don't like that about it at all. And there's a lot of like, this is like the most puzzle heavy thing that I've gotten into in Zelda so far. And most of the time, I just like to, I'm a Bastion main. I'm a simple man. and I just, but Zelda's been great. I've been playing that. So just Overwatch then.
Well, right now, yeah, because of the Uprising came out. So
Right.
I've been trying to beat it on Legendary, and it's
I don't think
obviously
very
we-
many people have beat it on Legendary.
no. Once we either run out of time, or a Bastion surprisingly comes up behind us and kills us all. It's really hard once we get
Bastions
to.
too.
They're
what us
horrible.
Bastion
And I always get stuck as Mercy because nobody wants to be Mercy, and I'm like, okay then.
Right.
Mercy.
I love
So then you
it.
have
Yeah.
to drink.
Well,
Yeah, but
You're
we
just
did.
required to drink.
Me and my friends, we did made it on the top 100, and I'm so
Right.
happy for that.
she
I
literally
was
went into chat.
excited.
She was like, guys.
I know it's not important, guys, but look.
No, but it is because like I'm waiting for the moment that I achieve platinum, and then I can tweet out like, "Hey everybody, I worked so hard on this. You have no idea how hard I worked to get to
Yeah.
platinum. The sleepless nights." But yeah, the other thing that I'm playing is you can kind of see it in the background there is oh shit, Atlas is going to sue the fuck out of you now.
Dude, you did this on purpose.
Persona 5. I'm streaming
Yeah,
Persona
they're totally going to
5
sue you.
back there on your channel now. Hey, Persona 5 brought to you by Tom Shoes. But yeah, I love it.
We're going to get blocked. We're going to get blocked.
Well, okay, I have to ask this question. And I know this is a complicated question. But how do... It's in their legal right to do what they're doing. But from your perspective as a community manager, like, how does that feel to you?
I think it's there's obviously a strong cultural difference between Japan and the United States, and I think you can see that with Nintendo. A couple years ago, Nintendo tried to do the same thing with content creators. I think Nintendo shows a really good shift, because when I was at IGN in like 2013, they were going after content creators and speedrunners. Like, they didn't want speedrunners in their game, and that's fine. But then, with Zelda, they actually sent early access copies out to speedrunners to learn how to speedrun the game immediately.
Oh, interesting.
So, I mean, I think it shows a really good, comparison between being like, okay, well, we finally kind of understand, the Western side of things. I will say this, right? So, like, when Persona first came out and Atlas was doing this, I was very, like, this is dumb. Like, it's their right to do this, but this is really antiquated and stupid. And if people are going to go find spoilers, like, if people want spoilers, they're going to go find spoilers.
They would have found it like 3 months ago.
Right. If you want to go watch it in Japanese, you can find a place that's streaming it in doing that. One of the things, though, that I will say about this game in particular that is different from any other game, and I don't know if this is a good enough reasoning, because, again, like, they do this for every one of their games, and, like, Persona 4 Dancing All Night is not like, oh my god, what a shocking surprise. Like,
right.
There's nothing in that game to be like, oh, this is mind-blowing. So their uniformity of how they do this is what kind of doesn't give them the benefit of the doubt that they're doing this specifically for Persona 5 and for spoilers. It seems like a thing that they just want to do. Like, they're just like, well, we don't like people streaming our game. They have a backwards mentality, and no one's going to change that in the Western side of things, at least for now.
Yeah.
But Persona 5 is a game that has so many surprises to it that are so over the top and insane. Like, in the first couple of hours of the game, you're experiencing really serious subject matter juxtaposed with, like, really over the top hilarious things that are happening, and designs of characters, and to, like, even get into, like, and this is, I guess, a micro spoiler, a tiny spoiler, but, like, there's a character in the opening part of the game that is an antagonist that is sexualizing girls and sexually harassing girls. And you go into his mental palace, which is like the reflection of his desires and stuff like that. And one of the bosses that you fight is basically shaped like the head of a dick. Like, it's just a flying dick head.
Yeah.
And it's like this so weird, like, holy shit, I never would have expected. Like, there's a demon taking a shit that's, like, flying around. And it's like, I wouldn't want to be spoiled of those things. And I wouldn't want to, like, be emotionally invested in 20 hours into a game and have somebody, like, promoting, hey, I'm in hour 80 of the game and come watch my stream and here's a 30-second clip of the shit that's going on. Like, that would feel not great to me. But ultimately, like, it seems so stupid. And it's just like, you exist in this world where you're built up by streamers and your game is sustained by streamers. Like, Overwatch is owned by the community. And without the streaming community, our game does not nearly have the cultural impact that it does. Like, it's a huge component of it. But ultimately, the other component of it is that, like, I don't think that they will see that on their bottom line, right? Like, they're saying we're going to sell as many copies as we're going to sell of this game,
and then that's
right. No one's coming to them or running the statistics of like, well, here's how much money you fucking lost by not having streamers.
Right.
And like, here's the cultural impact that you lost out on. Like, I think one of the things that I've always loved was from this guy, Gary Vaynerchuk, who runs winelibrary.com. And he does like a lot of just like forward-thinking social stuff. And one of the things that he wrote about in one of his books was like, when people ask what's the ROI of social media, my response is always like, what's the ROI of your mother? Because like your mother had so many moments in your life that had an impact on who you were, but you couldn't say like, oh, on August 3rd, 1992, my mom bought an ice cream for me, and that's why I feel fucking great about myself every day. Like, it doesn't interchange like that. So with streaming and supporting streamers, like, we can look at it and we know a lot more definitively the impact that streamers have had on our game. They, I don't think, want to hear that. So like, that's not, they're not going to be like, oh no, look at all the people we lost out on. They're just going to look at the people that they have.
Right.
Which again, I think comes back to just a cultural difference.
For sure.
Stop me if I just like go too far down a rabbit hole, because I just start talking and then I'm like, oh no.
I think that was a perfect answer to that question.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, because like, I mean, like because from what I understand of it as well, it's like, yeah, it's supposed to be, you know, it's supposed to be a very much like surprise after surprise, a whole bunch of stuff you're not expecting. I mean, the interesting thing too is that like when new games come out, oftentimes, you know, if I do stream that new game right away, I'll have a lot of my supporters come in and say like, hey, I just want to come in to say hello, but I don't want spoilers, so I'm dipping out. Like, that's totally, you know, people have that choice to do that, and sometimes people will come in after. Like, one of the things I started doing now, especially if it's like very story driven, is like I'll wait until I know people have played through the game to start playing it. So that's what I did with Horizon. I played it at first a little bit, then I stopped because I knew people wanted to play through it themselves, and then they want to watch their streamers that they like to watch, like experience those moments themselves so that they can see what their reactions were.
Right. But ultimately, like, there are plenty of people out there that like want to watch you experience it and experience it with you while you're experiencing it.
That's true.
And I think that's the other thing that's so backwards about that mentality and that thinking that Atlas has, is that like this game is so diverse in the choices that you can make and the things that you can do. And every day you go to class, and then after class you have this huge block where it's like, oh, I could go to the library, or I could, you know, strengthen a social bond, or like, and ultimately that creates your own experience in the game. And if they're worried about people watching other people and not buying a game because they watched the whole game, which is such an archaic concept to think about to begin with, like, you're going to get your own version of that game, and you get to watch it and be like, oh, I want to see what I could do differently than that, or if I, you know, romance this character, or, you know, pursued these subplots.
Exactly.
But I think, yeah, the game is very slow burn, and that's the part where I think, you know, there is a hypersensitivity about spoilers with stuff. More than anything, I'm just opposed to the way that they presented it. And I know, like, Atlas PR had to work with, you know, both sides of things, but it just felt like that press brief was so
kicking the balls.
Weird.
Yeah,
and it was just very much like, you know, I think they could have, and probably now in retrospect would have liked to word that better. But then Pepsi came along and just fucking just
fixed
blew
everything
it up.
in the world.
you know, they
And then
Atlas a cake.
oh, thank God. Fucking Kendall Jenner handed a Coke to somebody, or a Pepsi. Shit, now I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
Now we won't get World War III.
Yay!
Yeah. And United Airlines came in, and Sean Spicer came in, and Atlas was like,
God.
no one's talking about us anymore.
We're good now.
Yeah,
They
We'll-
planted
we'll
it. That's what
happily-
they did. They were just like, you know what?
pass the baton.
That's what's up. And so these next let's see. Are these the questions? Okay, so first of all, I want to give a big shout out to Sam. He actually put this agenda together. So I had been doing all the other agendas, and it became like so much sometimes to do them. Sam reached out and was like, "Hey, what do you think about me like helping out with some of this stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." So, yeah, appreciate that, man. He's Mega Sam X.
The script looked great, man. When I saw it, I was like, holy crap, man.
Both Mitzi and Sam worked together on that. So, like, that was like a really cool love child that they were able to collaborate on. Really happy.
I've like hosted a bunch of podcasts before. And I'm like, I don't know, just bring a topic, I guess.
Yeah. So one of the questions that we have on here, school for thought, with the rise in classes for competitive shooters, do you find yourself playing more defensive, offensive, support, and why? And I feel like we did answer this question a little bit, but at least for you, Sean. But you want to just like talk about that just a little bit more in terms of like if that's the case for other games as well?
I don't know. I like playing Reinhardt, like, but I also don't think that I'm a great Reinhardt. And I think like I love the game because it allows you to kind of explore different styles of play. Mm-hmm. But for me, like, yeah, I like anything that is offensive, that is generating points. I don't play a ton of MOBAs, but I feel like I'm much better at that. Like, I just like to see what my bottom line is, because my tiny little ego cannot sustain not being on a stat sheet somewhere. I think in any sport, or like, if I'm playing Madden and I create myself, it's always going to be someone that's scoring a lot of points.
Yeah, right.
So, but yeah, I mean, I think Overwatch is really, like before Overwatch, like Rainbow Six was the thing that I was playing a lot of. But yeah, I think I've always been more into playing those types of characters. And I think I love like strategy, and that's why I love this game so much. Is like, I could talk about the meta of this game forever and ever and ever, just because like I'm just such a geek for strategy. When it comes to like playing like NBA or Madden, like I'll just do roster management. Like I don't even play in franchise mode.
I think they have a game that's dedicated to that, don't they? Like Football Manager 2015. Whatever.
Yeah, that's like soccer football, and I don't. I was goalie on my JV team once, and that was a nightmare because I'm 5'6". But yeah, I've always been into that, and then that kind of leads into sort of being the shot caller for your team, or at least trying to, which is fun.
Gotcha. What about you, Brichetta? You talked a little bit about your drunken habits.
I always play support when I'm drunk.
But what about when you're not drunk?
When I'm not drunk, I mostly go tanks.
Okay.
I'm trying to master all the tanks as much as I can. Roadhog, I cannot play for some reason. I don't know why. Probably because he's really, really slow.
Yeah.
But it could be, but I just can't. Like, I've tried so much to do like the hooking technique that he does, and I just can't do it.
Let's hook up, girl.
So, I just can't. Like, he's the only one. I've been playing Zarya a lot more lately, and oh my god, I love her. I wish I played her when the game started.
Right.
I was so proud. Like, I'm only 25 minutes into Zarya, and I was doing like 30 kills and 0 deaths type of things, and I'm like, why didn't I do this before?
Right.
Damn.
Well, yeah. And I think one of the things that is really cool about this game is that you take second looks at characters. Like you'll play a character and you'll be like, oh, I suck at this character. I don't know how to play this character. And then suddenly you'll come back to that character and you'll be like, oh, wait, no, if I just do this instead of doing this. Like McCree for me, I would always try to shoot as fast as I possibly could and reload. Like I was like 76 or Bastion. But it's like if you just slow your shots a little bit, you get so much more return on that.
Right.
And now, like, I've started playing McCree. Like, Roadhog's the same thing where it's like all you have to do is just focus on landing that hook.
Yeah.
And it's the most important thing to do. And it's the easier said than done because I don't know how.
Yeah, like I know, like my friend, he plays such an amazing Roadhog. Like the other team will have a tracer, and he'll be like, "Don't worry, guys, I'll take care of it." Bam, 1 second, and I'm like,
it's the most satisfying thing
okay.
ever. Yeah.
I know. I love to play with him when he's Roadhog, which is Oscar, if he's watching, maybe.
Oscar.
If he's watching, but he's an amazing Roadhog and amazing. Like I'm learning from him and my brother how to play mostly tanks because they're such fantastic tanks, and I'm always stuck healing them because I don't trust any other healer. And I'm like, funny. But I want to be something else.
Roadhog.
Go ahead.
Go on.
No, so I'll be healer more. I always offer. You know I do.
You're an amazing Zenyatta.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Every team needs Zenyatta, man.
Dude, I really, really like Zenyatta. Really, really like him.
Also, Symmetra is pretty much like a must play if you have a good Symmetra.
Yeah, she's beastly.
So many things.
She's to a point where she's like, she's weird. Before, like she used to be, she's still in the support role, but sometimes people would pick her as the healer as opposed to like an actual healer. And I'm always just like, it's not the same. And then they like changed her abilities so that she's a more offensive supporter, even more so. So I'm like, she's an offensive character now. She's beastly.
Yeah, and then you can, if you're smart, you can play 76 as kind of like a micro healer.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah.
And Sombra.
He's great.
Yes, I love Sombra.
And Sombra.
I love her.
Oh, just by hacking health stuff.
Yeah, it's like, don't worry, guys, we got a healer. It's Sombra.
Well, and that's one of the things. Like, you have to, any new character that you're trying to play. Like, I think the first thing to think about is like, how am I building my ult? And people don't tend to, or at least people that are more in the casual space don't really think about that. Like, I know I didn't think about it for a long time, but like Sombra can build her ult so quickly, but you just have to be maximizing every ability that she has.
Makes sense.
I don't play Sombra.
I think that was a good question though. It's like, we got to talk a little bit about which kinds of classes you like more so than others. I think for me, like I like the idea of playing. It's kind of weird. I like playing a lot of the other characters as supportive characters or disruptors. So I like to be able to like provide backup for my team, but also like Diva, for example, she's probably like my most played character right now because she gets to fill a couple of different roles, right? She's like a tank. She gets to like absorb damage and she can support the team, but she can also like go behind the enemy lines and just fucking with people. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, my girlfriend Amanda is a Diva main, pretty much, and then now playing Lucio really well too. Nice. The Lucio changes have been great. I really enjoy them.
I love them. I absolutely love them, but it's kind of weird because now you got your whole teammates on you. Yeah. And but at least it manages your team to actually stick together.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Watching people play like dive comp now is insane. And just having super fast comps. I don't know how to counter dive comps. I just quit.
So funny. You talked a little bit earlier about like cooldown abilities. So Overwatch and Destiny are just examples of games that have cooldown abilities in them. Obviously, they're not the first ones to do it, but I think they're some of the premier games out right now that like really take advantage of that aspect.
Right.
Do you think that's going to continue on with more games in the future, or do you think it's going to kind of be just a niche for these types of experiences?
It's hard to say. Like genuinely, I'm glad that I'm not in like an industry where predicting where all of this stuff is going to go is what my job would be. I think that Overwatch does this really, really cool thing where a lot of the characters' identities are tied to, their abilities, and there's identity even in how they use their abilities, and like it's an all-encompassing thing, and I think that there's like there's things that people like. I guess what I'm trying to say is like you find the character and you gravitate towards the characters that you like, but you gravitate towards some characters because you play them really well, but you gravitate towards other characters because you like what their art style is, or you like their design, or you want to play a dude with a giant hammer.
Yeah.
And I think like that's the fun and unique space that like MOBAs kind of gave birth to in a way, where it's like everyone's a hero and everyone has their own hero and every hero does different things. And you know, like not to shit on like first person shooters, like I love Call of Duty and I love Battlefield. Like I just said, like Rainbow Six for a long time was my life, and then I'll go back and play Rainbow Six and be like, I fucking suck.
Yeah.
I'm awful now. Oh, it's so bad. I run a lot. And you know, it's like all of those games are really fun. But now we're into this kind of space where it's like, you know, identity, and League of Legends does that really well, and Dota does that really well, where like these characters are a part of people's lives in a way that matters, you know. And I can't think of like, you know, a character from Call of Duty Black Ops that I'm like, man, I love Soap, like, and that's like one of the only characters that I can remember for Call of Duty. And it's not that I didn't enjoy those stories when I was playing through those stories, but I just think that you have this like identity with these characters, and I think that that's something that's very appealing for developers from a community perspective, from a longevity perspective. Is like let's make things that inherently feel our own, and I think that that's the coolest thing about like when you see the legendary skins for different characters, right? Like we don't parody. I mean, we take homage, but we are not like, hey, this is, you know, this character looks exactly like Solid Snake, or like we're not.
I would love to see that. By the way, I really would love to see that.
Oh,
we're waiting for Ocelot McCree.
Yes, right. Yes.
So
oh my god.
Well, I mean, you do have people like Scrooge McCree and stuff like that, but I think like it's very important that these characters have their own identity and exist in their own identity. And like I love the idea of like looking at all the McCree skins and being like, man, I could see a comic book cover with all of these different Elseworld world variants of this character. And so I think that kind of maybe doesn't answer your question exactly, but sort of plays into that abilities-based type of hero shooters, where I think people are going to start to say like, all right, like Lawbreakers is doing a very similar thing as well, and Paragon's doing a very similar thing as well, and Paladins is doing a very similar thing as well.
I mean, down to the D, yeah.
And it's just it's cool. It's cool to see that space. And ultimately, I think like I play Overwatch and talk to Overwatch, or talk with people about Overwatch, people that I would have never thought would have played a first-person shooter or an arena-based shooter. And like they play it. There are so many people that I know that don't even play against actual people. Will just go in and play against AI.
Okay.
Because they love the characters so much and they love the game so much and they enjoy the game, but like being that character is a huge part of that as well. And I think that's why the response to the PvE stuff has been so great.
Yeah.
Is because people want more of being able to feel like that character and put themselves in the shoes of that character.
For sure.
So that was like a very long way of saying like, yeah, I think it's on the rise.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely on the rise.
Yeah.
I think creating persistent online worlds is the next big thing for a lot of these people. You know, you see it with Destiny right now, and starting to grow that connection to something that's a lot more constant. But I play Overwatch all the time, so it's pretty much constant anyway.
Absolutely. And I'm actually going to let Brichetta here do the honors of asking these next questions, because again,
oh great,
her and
Wait,
Sam.
he didn't
They're
show
probably
me.
all going to be me saying I can't comment. So, yes.
Hold on.
Oh, she has to pull them up.
Tell me.
All right,
Like a minute before.
I'll do the first one while you pull it up. Don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay.
So,
I can't comment.
I'm really.
Okay, go. What is it? What are you ready?
With the game still going strong after almost a full year of release, how has the community surprised you? What made you laugh? What made you cry? How do you plan to keep them engaged?
That I can comment about. I think the coolest thing about this game and being able to work with the community is I get to do a lot of stuff, and I don't. I should have ended that sentence there. I should have continued that sentence. I don't talk about this stuff a lot. Like, I think this is probably kind of semi-candid, but like when I worked at IGN, it was very much like, oh, you know, like I gotta let all my friends back home know that like I'm doing IGN stuff. Like, and like anything that I did with that community. Like, I really loved and enjoyed working with that community, but ultimately there was a level of like self-promotion there. And like, you know, you want to get your name out there and you want to get your brand out there regardless of what you're doing, especially in this kind of space. And I think coming to Blizzard, and it kind of already had arrived at that place emotionally, but coming to Blizzard, it's a culture that really focuses on the community and putting the community not just first, but like so far above everything else. And you work together as a team to create really great initiatives. So I think the preface to all of this is like there have been some fantastic initiatives that I've been involved in. It's some fantastic things that we've done that would not exist or have any ability to happen without the entire team working together to get those things done. But I think like one of the coolest things that I get to do is write letters to kids, and kids will write us letters. Like we had a kid recently that came up with a character design for this character that he wanted in the game, and he's like a 10-year-old kid, and he wrote us this like super adorable letter and drew this character. And then Arnold Zhang, who does a lot of the character designs for like, you know, Tracer, most of our characters, he drew a sketch of this character. And so then we put that sketch onto canvas and we had Arnold sign it and we sent it back to the kid.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I got a letter from the kid's dad being like, oh, it hasn't left his side. Like he carries it around everywhere.
That's so cute.
And it's just like, it's so cool. Like, it's so cool. And it's cool because like when I was a kid and I was growing up, you know, I was very lucky. My dad worked for Disney when I was growing up. Yeah, Disney Interactive too. So like my first E3 was when I was like 13 years old, 12 years old.
I'm so jealous.
It was great. I mean, I'm truly humbled and incredibly grateful because I was so lucky and to have that opportunity. And my dad did like sales and marketing, so I got to see a lot of different sides of the industry. But I know that like there were many moments in time where I got to interact with really cool people. Like I think I met Miyamoto at an airport once, and he signed my Nintendo powers, and I was like very young.
Oh my god,
it was crazy.
I would have flipped out.
I would have had a heart attack.
But it was just like it's just so, you know, those moments that you're just like, this is what I want to do. Like, this is what I want to be with my life. And I think like, you know, I don't know your backgrounds and how you grew up. And like, again, like I was very lucky to grow up at a home that like my parents were like, yeah, you want to pursue gaming? That seems like a thing that'll be good in the future. But I know that that's not the case for a lot of people. And it's rapidly becoming not that way. But for most people, you know, growing up and being like, well, I want to be games, or like tell your parents like I want to be a streamer. They're like, what are you like peeing? Like are people, what is happening? Like what is this? Do you like hang out my streams and pan for gold? Like I don't. So yeah, it's just it's to have those moments where you can you know, interact in that way. And you know, hopefully the goal is and the dream is that, you know, 10-15 years from now that kid's coming to work at Blizzard to do art on, whatever, Overwatch 17.
Right.
But it's just really cool and it's real fun. And then there are other times where like I'm lucky enough to write back to someone that is young as Winston, and that's really cool as well.
That's fun.
That I get to like work with Michael Chu on like writing that. Like so we did, for instance, I don't know if have you seen the Hanzo tweet?
The one
tweet.
Of the kid.
Right.
Insulted another kid.
Yeah. So we like, again, like all this stuff starts as a joke, like it's just funny. The people like we knew we wanted to do something. We wanted to reach out, and then we had the idea of like, oh, what if we, if we reach out, we have to say something like, love every hero. Like, hey, you got to love every hero, and Hanzo mains are people too. We got a lot of Hanzo mains.
I've never seen a bad Hanzo player. I mean,
I've never seen
like
a bad Hanzo player. That's 100%.
I know.
True.
I've seen plenty.
Never seen a bad Hanzo player.
I mean, I've seen like 2 out of like the 10, but never really seen a bad Hanzo player.
On how many bad Hanzo players I've seen, I don't think I should be sure those first stats.
So good.
But so we wrote back to her daughter, and we gave them both Hanzo shirts. Awesome. And we wrote back from Winston, and we're basically like, hey, love every hero. And like it's awesome to have that opportunity to be able to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think the other thing that's definitely worth pointing out is seeing stuff like Diva at the Women's March in Korea. And seeing, people taking on Diva as almost like a feminist icon in a way. I should probably caveat, that's my opinion.
Yes.
See like article headlines.
You're right.
I think that and Kaplan has talked about this as well, that people take the identities of these characters and it becomes part of them, and it becomes part of that. And I think like the coolest thing, and this is what Jeff Kaplan said at the DICE conference, is like you go to the Diva March website and you see like their slogan is basically like, our Diva is our mascot because we want to live in a world where, in the future of Overwatch, 20 years from now, she can exist, or 40 years from now, this character can actually exist. And we want to build that world. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a spectacular thing, is not only, being community manager for a game, but a game that is very much like in tune with like, we just want to see a better future for everybody. And we want to paint that picture as well.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't actually know about the Diva Watch. So I'm linking people in the stream. I'm letting them see it right now. For National Diva Association. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
It's just cool. I mean, it's real cool to see, and I think it comes back to what Jeff Kaplan said during the DICE conference as well, which, and again, this is all prefaced by like, I have been at this company for 6 months. And so I didn't launch and ship Overwatch. I got to come in and watch all of these people celebrate that success, which is really, really cool to see. And it was awesome to watch everybody share that. But the one thing that I can say, like, unequivocally is that, like, nobody walks around going like, oh, well, we got to figure out, like, what's the next thing that we're going to put in here that's diverse. Like, everyone just cares about being inclusive, and cares about just, like Kaplan said, like, we put Tracer, who is a gay woman, on the cover of our game because that's a normal thing. Like, it's not, there was no discussion of like any of that kind of stuff. So the things that fit into the narrative and to the story that they're trying to tell and that the team is trying to tell, it's real. And these people care about these things in a very real way. There's nothing disingenuous about it. It's all real and all organic. And I think that's what's so great about then watching the community take on those things and giving those things to the community to be things that can take on a life of their own.
Right. I'm learning stuff today. It's great. It's so great.
Yeah, I never, people shouldn't learn things from me. That's not a thing that should happen. That's not. I don't want to be
They're
future.
good things.
I mean, but I didn't know that there were as many. You hear about like what some community managers do, and it's like, oh, this is cool, but like to really go out of your way as a company too, to like go out of your way, like to definitely okay stuff like this is like really cool for fans. Like the fans just range from so many different types of people, so like having these kids writing in is like totally a thing you would expect to happen. You're just like, well, let's do something special for them, So you don't have to do that, but you do, so that's dope.
And I mean, I think that's the coolest part about working at this company too, is that, for a lot of other places, getting press about your game is very important.
Right.
And again, that's how most video game studios operate and should operate. I think with Blizzard in particular, the really cool thing about it is they definitely have a culture and a philosophy of like, do your thing. Like,
yeah.
Like we are going to give you budget to do plenty of things that we know are not going to have this like bottom line ROI thing, but they're the right things to do.
Yeah.
And they are things that
in the long run
are, yeah, it's about for Blizzard and for Overwatch and for Team 4, it is genuinely about more than making a video game, about a lot more. And that's what's really cool is you're creating something creative that's bigger than yourself, but also it's something that I feel good, coming to work. It's super rewarding.
That's so awesome.
Also, I got this McCree gun.
He can walk in with a McCree gun.
Yeah, I was kind of worried about campus was around.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Shout out to the who's the cosplayer who did that?
His name is Nick Melendez, and he is I think Squab Double on Twitter. I have to look it up.
I got you.
But there's a great story behind this that I will tell a abridged version of. Let me see. So I was at PAX East. Yeah, Squab Doodle, SQUABDOODLE. Oh man, I know. So PAX East, there's a community cosplay photo shoot happening at PAX East. And it was really like there were so many cosplayers that were wanting to show up to this thing, and I just kind of got put on like in touch with the person organizing it at the last minute. So we initially wanted to have it really close to the Blizzard booth, and that didn't work because there were just so many people. So we had to move all of the people up into the main concourse of PAX, and we're like working with PAX enforcers, and we're working with security to move it to this one location. And everybody's good with it. PAX enforcers are fine with it. We're like monitoring it completely. And I'm like, awesome. Like, so we definitely, that could have been a fire, and we definitely averted that crisis.
Yes.
And so the person, because you have hundreds of Overwatch cosplayers that are there, is on a megaphone and is doing a great job of just being like, all right, all the Diva mains come in and so like, and I should preface this with saying that everybody else, all the PAX enforcers were wonderful. Everybody that worked security at the Boston Convention Center was great, except for this one dude who decided that he did not like the fact that all of this stuff was happening, and went and grabbed a megaphone of his own and started yelling that everyone needed to like disperse and cease and desist. And like I went over to him and I was like, hey man,
hey buddy,
we're supposed to be here. I've already talked to security. I've talked to PAX enforcers. Like, we have a right to be here. And you're telling everybody they need to be going back down to the show floor. And we were just moved up from the show floor. And he's like, I don't care what you have to say. We're moving this right now. Don't let me. He's like, don't talk back to me.
Oh,
and he's just like getting in my face. And so I'm like, okay, dude, like it's all good. Like,
Can I kick
calm
it?
down. Just give us, I was like, just give us a second to figure this out, and then we will be on our way.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, you guys need to leave right now. You need to vacate. You need to vacate right now. And then he starts getting up in my face and being like, saying stuff like, this is our house and our house, our rules.
Who is this guy?
Some security guard and so I was like, PAX enforcer comes up to me. It's like, hey man, there's a spot on the second floor we can move everybody to. It's totally fine. It's never used.
Mm-hmm.
And we could just move everybody there right now. And so this dude is like the security guard has already gotten like really close to my face to yell all this stuff to me. And in between now and then, I can't remember what happened, but I was trying to calm him down. And he was being like, do you want to take this outside? We can go outside. And I was like, is this person threatening to throw me out? Or is this person like wanting to actually go outside and fight me? So
he's looking for an excuse at that point. He's just like, I just want to fight somebody.
And for me, I was just like, okay, like this dude, like I just kept being like, dude, it's the cosplayers. Like we're just having fun. Everybody's just having fun. And so the PAX enforcer's like, we can move you guys. And I'm with a girl, Spuds, that's running it. And she has her megaphone. And I'm like, just make the announcement that we're going to move it. And he sees that she's about to like lift up the megaphone, and he like tries to grab and yank the megaphone away from her and is like, you can't have this. And I'm like, whoa, dude, you can't just start yanking other people's stuff away. And then he turns to me and is like, what did I tell you about getting up in my face? What did I tell you about talking back to me? I'm going to go get the cops, and you're going to leave here in handcuffs. And
maybe he was just like high on PCP or something and just thought something totally different was happening.
But at this moment, I was just like, oh man, like I have a very limited number of choices that I can make in this situation, and one side of that like, definitely leads to my career fucking ending. So I was just like, hey man, like it's all good, dude. And then some cops started walking over. And I was like, oh, here we go, man. And the cops went up to the security guard and was like, all right, man, calm down. Like, you need to calm down and chill out. And then one of the cops turned to me and was like, it's probably best if you move this to another spot. So then the PAX enforcer was just like, hey, everybody, follow me, and led a herd of like 200 people to another location to shoot. And the shoot was totally fine. But so I was threatened to be arrested because we moved the cosplay shoot. But because of that, thankfully, the good thing that came out of that was that it was a really good cosplay shoot. And I think everybody had a really good time.
That's good.
But I got to meet a lot of the cosplay community because they saw me almost leave in handcuffs. So somebody sent me the McCree gun, so and I love it, and I am gonna hold it forever.
Shout out to Swab Doodle.
Yeah, thank you so much, because this is my life now.
He's literally been holding it the entire before we even started the actual cast. He was just like,
yeah. And when it's an accessory to a robbery, I don't know. I can't be responsible for that. He made it, so legally he is required to face my charges. So I think that's how it works now.
I have a random question before we even get to the other question. This is just like totally. So, one of the times I was actually streaming, it's just Thirsty Thursday, so I was drinking, and I joined Brishera's game actually, and they were already playing. I made everybody crack up. I was very proud of that moment. And I was commentating, and while you're commentating, you have the option to go into third person. And I just kept thinking to myself, like, I really love seeing the characters while I'm shooting people. Is there ever going to be a scenario where we'll have a third-person mode to do that? To just, like, while you're playing, it's the third person?
I don't want to speak on things that the developers, were are doing. I honestly don't know. Like, I have zero bearing on that or knowledge. So there is a 0% chance that I could answer that question for you. What I will say is that from a personal perspective, when you're looking at Overwatch on a competitive front, I do enjoy watching it in third person so much more than watching it in first person.
Yeah.
And I hope that more competitive tournaments start to adopt using third person, especially for newcomers, because like it's real jarring to watch Tracer
Yeah.
Especially for new people.
Yeah.
Like I finally feel like I understand the meta enough to watch the game and really get it.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'll show my dad and he's like, "Oh, someone did a big play." And like that's the level that he can understand it, because it is so very jarring.
Yeah.
So I love watching third person spectator mode. As far as answering that question, I have no idea and will never have any idea. So you will know as soon as I do if that's a possibility or if that ever happens.
Oh my god, I want it. I want it real bad.
That would be cool, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if having a mode like that, like an arcade mode, would be.
Like a nice little teaser for it.
Like
Right.
it'll be fun, but this is one of the questions that I had. But I wanted an arcade mode. I wanted Total Mayhem.
And
You guys
that
play Total Mayhem?
is this a custom game? I feel like
Yeah, you get. Well, they had it in arcade mode before arcade mode became a thing. They had it as a weekly thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't. Did you guys never play arcade mode?
Which one?
I'm gonna cry.
What are the rules of Total Mayhem?
I mean, so
No cooldowns?
Total Mayhem. It's the cooldowns are down by 75%,
Okay.
and everybody gets their ult faster. Everybody has double HP. What's the other one then? I think that's about it. But it is so much fun. I'm gonna get you on it, Will.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I mean, I think, again, I can't answer that question and have no knowledge on whether or not that would be coming back in the future. But if you get 20 million retweets,
Listen.
if you,
Listen.
20 million
Don't tempt me.
retweets, and
Listen.
Are we
I
recording
will
this?
still not be able to answer that question for you.
Damn it.
So,
2 million 2 million
just have to wait.
2
retweets.
million retweets, you'll get
$3 million
popularity, but you won't
Yeah.
get Total Mayhem.
Yeah, you'll be like that Wendy's tweet, and everyone will give you free stuff because of it.
Listen, we're trying here. Come on.
I just want Total Mayhem.
Hey, you see 20 million. It's not that much.
Don got me in a chat. He's like, "Yeah, I remember that game mode. It was pretty fun. Let's get that going."
I don't even
Listen,
know.
I will start that
I don't even
tweet.
know 20 people.
I will start that tweet and everybody start retweeting it out. I'm dead serious.
Yeah, I saw this movie called Pay It Forward, and it's probably similar. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think I've ever seen Pay It Forward. There's Kevin Spacey, and then there's Haley Joel Osment, and then he does a nice thing. Okay, any other questions that I can tell you that I can't answer?
He can't answer. We're gonna have to skip Doomfist. But we do want to hear Terry Crews. Do you approve?
It just if you watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, you can hear him fine. I mean,
No, but as Doomfist, wouldn't you want to hear Terry Crews on Overwatch? Like, you wouldn't want him to be like, Ultimate Ready! Ah!
didn't he do that? Didn't he do that? Like a fake audition for Yahoo, so you can hear him do Doomfist there too.
Well, I guess the question that we could ask you then is: would you personally enjoy it,
Would I personally enjoy it?
or would you? If you had the choice to do so, would you?
I think that every character's voice should make sense for that character when that character comes out.
Okay.
So, and I just think, it's everything with Overwatch is focused on authenticity. And if something fits, then it fits. So, I would be into like Paul Giamatti. Like if you wanted to make Paul Giamatti as Doomfist, then I am probably more okay with that than anything else.
Interesting.
Or like I don't know, like Crispin Glover. He's got a nice voice.
Okay.
But no, I mean, in reality, like Terry Crews was on campus once, and that's known. That happened.
Yeah.
Can we just have Terry Crews as Terry Crews in
And
Overwatch?
he's a very nice dude, and he supports our game, and that is great.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that at some point, you'll probably have more information than you do right now.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
I
it.
feel a little tingle that's telling me yes.
That's it. That's it. No, I honestly, again, this is something where
know.
He can't say
Let
it.
me
I'm
dream.
I'm so in the dark. You will know when I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When it comes to this stuff. So there's nothing. There's nothing because I know nothing. So
Next question.
Since I skipped over.
Yeah. We talked about the total mayhem.
Well, we talked about how do you feel about the community you're working with, both negative and positive.
Yeah, we did talk about
You
that.
said it. Yeah, we talked about it, but you said a lot of positive things. How about negativity, as in
there's no
toxic
negatives.
players? How about
There's
toxic
no
players?
I think you're always gonna have people like I get frustrated with the game
Yeah.
a lot.
Mhm.
You're always gonna have those people. The more games that are based on just like hardcore teamwork.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many games I've fucking lost because no one's communicating.
Yeah.
And you know that you are better than the other team. Like you are outplaying them. But when you have nobody that is communicating with each other, like that can get frustrating because it is a game that is very focused on team comp is very important. Team communication is very important. I think when you watch competitive teams in Korea versus competitive teams in the United States or EU, they value different things. And ult management is really important to one group, whereas teamwork is really important to a different group. And so putting all of those things together is a lot, and understanding the meta is a lot. It's not Hearthstone is a great game, and I fucking love Hearthstone. But it's like if you lose at Hearthstone, you lost, and it was just you, and the game is done, and it's 15 minutes, and now you get to move on. Overwatch games can stretch like a lot longer than that, and emotionally stakes are on the line. Like I was talking to a friend last night about playing Dota, and like, what's the longest Dota game that you've played? And one of them was saying like 2 hours. And it's like, man, if I lost a 2-hour game, I could be fucking Gandhi and I would lose my mind. I would be like, I hate humans. So it's something where it's just like, I think that there's a difference between people that really, really are competitive and sometimes letting that competitiveness get the better of them, and toxicity.
Yeah, true.
I think that actually our game is the least toxic game that I've ever picked up or interacted with. And again, I think the other cool thing is like you do have those moments where like you're the 76 is not, you don't think he's doing great, and you're playing Bastion, he doesn't think you're doing great as Bastion. And then through that being like, well, you need to pick it up. Well, you need to pick it up. Then you become friends. And like, I think that there's a lot more of that as well, than in any other game, where it's just like, people will frustrate me, and then I will say like, can you please switch? And then they're like, oh yeah, I'll totally switch. And I'm like, oh, I feel like a fucking horrible person. Like,
I completely understand that. Like when it comes to that on competitive, when I play with friends, we try to keep like the whole, hey, can you switch? We kind of suggest like, hey, how well are you on Reaper, or how well are you on Pharah? Like we give them choices so they don't feel like we're telling them they suck. That's definitely something doing,
though, but
I mean, I did that with Will, but that's Will.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's you want to be constructive. Time you ask for a hero switch, and there have been plenty of times where like I will switch to a hero that I'm not comfortable with, specifically because it just feels like, and like there are times where like I'm playing Bastion and like it fits our comp, and I'm just not doing what I need to be doing. And if I'm not contributing in the way that I should be contributing, then I need to switch characters and contribute in some other way. Because I can at least sit in the back line as Mercy and heal if I'm not getting kills. Like there's other ways that you can help support the team and just kind of fill around the team.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really see a lot of negatives in the community. There's just there's tons of passion for the game, and everyone's passionate about who their mains are, and everyone's passionate about the balance of the game. And that passion is really exciting, but not a lot of negativity ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been seeing that actually. Like once I started playing more, I'm seeing less. The only time I encountered like really bad negativity was just these people were just agreeing with how bad the Soldier 76 was. I didn't think he was doing a bad job at all, but it got so bad that him and his friend just left the competitive match completely.
Right.
And then they start blaming it on on them anyways. Right. Until, I never really get on mic. I'm the type that communicates on the chat. But once like I got on mic and I just told them like, hey, can we work together? We can probably beat them 4 people out of 6. Let's do it. Like, yeah. And that's what got them. They're just like, you know what? You're right. Let's just all push together, see what we can do. I mean, we lost. But
yeah,
right.
But it's like, yeah, switch the negativity around. Yeah, I won in life. I'm a better person. Yay! But
that's like the cool thing about having Lucio on your team is he's always like, look at this team. We're gonna do great.
Yeah,
with like three DPSs and a Widowmaker.
But Hanzo, a Widow, and a McCree. We're great.
Yeah, but pushing your team forward and is the main key to keep toxic players out of the way. Right. And it felt great that I made those players actually be like, you know what, you're right. Let's just stop being negative. Let's keep going. Even though we lost, we're like, great games. We tried what we could. Mm-hmm. And I love it that now the community's actually working on that. Like they're actually like, you know what, you're right. It's all team based. Let's just get together and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nobody plays a game because they want to lose, and so I think that there's just there's passion, and you'll see funny things happen because of that. But yeah, I think ultimately our game is really positive.
Yeah, I love that.
Right.
Okay, so were you expecting to have such a well support from the LGBT and ethnic players? The community is really rallying around each other and diverse characters that are in Overwatch. So,
yeah, I mean, I think that's again probably a question for the greater development team. I think it's something that, like I was saying before, inclusivity is what we strive for, and diversity was a result of that was really cool. But it is something that for me in particular, just on a personal level, it's wonderful. Like I love seeing, and again, this is just my personal take on it. Like I love seeing people be like, oh, who's gonna ship with who, and like people being upset with like, oh, there's like Genji and Mercy are flirting, but I wanted Bear and Mercy. Like it's so fun to watch people really again take on this stuff as their own and create these worlds as their own in a lot of different ways. Yeah, I mean, I think the best that I could possibly say for that is just that, like, it's to us just doing the things that are real and natural and oh my god, and make the most sense. There's a booger hanging out of my nose there.
It's okay, we can't see it.
Please don't meme me into like a Ted Cruz type of situation. I don't want that at all. Oh no, I'm gonna get memed. Fuck.
You're right.
God damn it. Once the internet memes you, you're fucking burned, man. You look at that like Juicero, like that $400 juicer, and the internet's just got their hooks in that now, and they're screwed. This is it. This is it for me.
What better?
But
way?
I think, I think the coolest thing about it is that, like, it's just, we're a diverse group of people, and we're a diverse development team, and we're a diverse community team, and Blizzard is a very diverse place. So everything just comes to complement that. And I think one of the things that, like, I talked about, when I was being interviewed, and something that is very important to me is that our representation of the people that play our game matches the representation of the people that stream and are influencers around our game. We have one of the most diverse player bases out there. So making sure that everything and every other community reflects that as well is a part of my job that is very, very special to me. And it's just it's cool. Like, it's cool to get to do something that brings everybody together through something that is a video game, but is also much more than a video game as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And as a side note, for people at home wondering, I definitely just made that a tweet in terms of getting Total Mayhem back. So I just put the link in the chat. Make sure you guys.
You started a change.org petition?
I didn't do all that.
We're gonna start one. Don't tempt me. Do not test me. I will do it because I want Total Mayhem back.
Be the change that you want to see.
I want to be that change, but nobody's gonna back me up.
We all got you. We all got you, Bree.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about buffs and nerfs. So we said that the Lucio buff was fantastic. Oh no, I can't hear you.
What? No,
I'm here. No, he didn't say anything.
No, both of you didn't say anything. I'm just
I just gave a reassuring.
I'm like, no, it's so quiet.
Of your thoughts on the Lucio changes.
Yes.
Okay. So, how do you feel about nerfs and buffs other than Lucio?
I think it's really cool. I mean, I think it's something that, like, obviously every character or every person that has a main is going to be very sensitive to when their character is nerfed or buffed. But I think ultimately it's refreshing to the game. I love the micro meta changes and how they affect kind of everything and reverberations, and it's not going to always be perfect, and I think that's the best thing about our development team is that they're very quick to look at stuff and say, like, this is not working and we're going to roll this back, or this feels awkward and we're going to roll this back, or like, we like this. Like, the PTR has been super helpful in that capacity. I think that, like, they have a very good feeling of knowing when something is genuinely needs to be changed or rolled back, versus just letting the community wait until they understand that meta, and how to play around that meta. Like, I personally didn't think Bastion was underpowered before his buff, and I like his buff a lot. But, like, the thing that's different now is that he can't critical hit anymore. So it changes up every single location that you can deploy. So, like, for instance, Hollywood, I used to deploy back on that elevator that goes up and down, and I would have that kind of long shot into the choke point, and at least if you're hitting critical hits, you're doing some type of damage that's valuable. With the buff, you can't do that anymore. Like, you have to be much closer. You have to be much more focused on moving around constantly. And, like, ultimately, like, is a buff, but, like, they've just changed the style of play for the character to fit more what they feel like the spirit of the character really is. And I think that that's the coolest thing about it, is that, like, talking about buffs and nerfs, like, some characters will feel overpowered and then feel underpowered and then feel normal, but, like, it's just it's all a part of balancing everything out and making sure that everything is balanced. And just so because dude, it's
Buff
Winston that I want.
What would go ahead.
Oh, I feel like I know what question you're going to ask.
Well, yeah, what would you do to buff Winston? She just mentioned buffing. Like, what would you even... What?
His okay.
Give him laser eyes, probably.
Yeah.
Laser guns.
I saw the
fingers.
question that they sent to Jeff. To make Winston climb walls because Hanzo can climb walls.
Right. You would think he could climb walls.
I know that was fantastic, but he's got his jump.
Grow up on like a moon base, so I don't know if there was like a lot of wall climbing going on.
Yeah, his jump is pretty good. He doesn't really need wall climbing.
No.
Yeah, it's like anybody that wants to see Winston get buffed, like just go watch Miro play and see how like. As soon as I saw Miro, I was like, "Oh, I've just been doing this all wrong," because like he is so good at using.
Really? I never heard of him.
He plays on Lunatic High, the Korean esports teams, and he's probably the best Winston I've ever seen. But again, it's Winston's a character that you can't be self-conscious with, and I'm self-conscious as fuck with my characters. Like, I need to know that I'm doing things on the stat sheet. Winston is like the tracer for tanks. Like, get in, harass some fucking people, jump out, jump back in, harass some people. You're always getting their backline to turn around.
Yeah.
And just trying to focus on not dying, and then trying to chain lightning on weaker opponents. But yeah, like I think everything it grows and it ebbs and flows. So as time goes on, I think we get closer to but I think it's always going to shift.
No, yeah. The only complaint I had with Winston was like his shield, but recently on the update, I saw that his shield lasts a little longer than usual. Because before it was more fragile than my feelings, you could say. Like that thing would just like you put it down and it'll be down in like 1 or 2 seconds. Like it was just. I hated his shield, and it was one of the reasons why I didn't use him. But I started using him more, and I saw like after the Uprising update, his shield lasts a little longer, and I'm proud of that. His reloading, you're always gonna have a character that's gonna reload slow, and his reloading takes forever.
Well, we're watching a pro player play him right now. You're talking about the same guy.
I'm gonna watch a pro player see if there's a trick to the reloading.
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah, he's pretty
Miro
good.
is the best. And they're like celebrities in Korea. Lunatic High. It's insane. They're like the LA Lakers in Korea now.
This idea behind like the pro players, the casual players, and then like the people in between that are like better than casual but not exactly pro, and they're considerations that go into it. Like I play a lot of Street Fighter as well, and I have to look at the way they do the balancing across the board for each of those demographics, and it's just like, damn.
When you watch good pros, they always have their key mappings up on the screen in the UI as well, so you can see how they're moving their hands, and that's always a really good thing. Like everything that I've learned about the higher level meta, I've learned from watching Twitch streamers, YouTubers, all that kind of stuff. And I still suck. So. Yeah,
same. 600 levels later, I still suck.
I'm only at 200. I feel like I play this game a lot, and I'm only at 200.
Oh, I've been experimenting with it too. Like, which one of the questions was skill rating, but that's always going to be a problem. Because I did, on my main account, I got ranked as platinum. And I used a different account, like I was on PlayStation, by the way, and I used another account, and I was ranked diamond.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure. I'm just like, what do I believe? I don't know
what to believe anymore.
I know. I was like, what do I believe? How am I diamond? I mean, I still made it.
I'm better than all my teammates, and I'm just chilling in gold, and I don't, I feel like I'm like Grandmaster level. Like, I'm much closer to Grandmaster than gold. So
yeah. Like, I low-key think I'm probably just a platinum, but still, like, it's just weird to...
I'm gonna try and get in on like an Overwatch League team, at some point.
I mean, we've got an opening. We didn't make it yet, but we've got an opening.
Number one Bastion main, North America.
I mean, we need somebody to be Bastion. I don't know.
Everyone needs a good Bastion. Nobody needs a good Bastion, don't. That's not true. That's not true at all.
No, Bastion's fantastic. I don't know why the hate.
He's the best. I love him, and he's my little robot sweetheart. But I also love Lucio. I kind of like a crush on Lucio a little
Lucio
bit.
love.
I think everybody does.
A little bit of a crush on Lucio. I like his positivity.
I think everybody does, and the voice actor that does him is even. It's just like
one handsome
like,
motherfucker.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hug Johnny Cruz all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
It's like, you going somewhere? No, I'm actually going with you now. Okay.
Be my internal monologue for everything.
He would not mind.
He's real funny on Instagram. He's got a lot of funny stuff on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Exactly.
I love it that all the voice actors get together and do things.
They're
like,
the best.
I don't know. Yeah.
So adorable.
Get together and do things.
Like
well said.
I can't explain it. Like they'll do videos and they will actually do it for the fans.
Do the voices,
and
yeah.
Yeah, it's
I really
fantastic.
Like that. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh no, I closed it.
Oh boy. Do you want to do the difference in SR? Wait, SR.
We did that skill ranking.
Yeah, at skill ranking. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So, what can be done to help ranked games that suffer from one or more team members leaving a match?
I mean, I honestly, and again, this is coming from a personal the perspective, not knowing anything about that area of our development. I think we are doing a lot more than a lot of other games would. I mean, if you leave, 2 or 3 times, you're banned from the entire season. And it's not something that like is taken lightly. I think it's something that like, you know, somebody that's going to email our customer service and be like, well, I was banned the entire season. Can I get unbanned? Like that doesn't happen. You know, I think it is what it is. You know, like if you leave, then you're going to get punished by being banned for the entire season. So I think that's, you know, leaving always sucks. Yeah, but I think we do more than other games do to prevent that.
For sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, and again, I also think that without knowing any of that kind of stuff, I think that it's a fluid process. You know, it's something that is going to continue to get better. You know, and again, this is not like a slight against Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
Like Rainbow Six's ranked mode was in beta for like almost the first year of doing ranked mode. So it's like it's not a science, and everybody has to figure it out for themselves and figure it out as time goes on and how their community behaves with that kind of stuff. But I've never left a game, and I think it's definitely indicative of that system. And then there's always the people that leave and then like 30 seconds later realize like, oh fuck, I can't just leave this game.
Yeah.
And then
Or I get
back.
disconnected.
Yeah.
I've gotten disconnected. And it just sucked because like I gained 70 points because you know if you keep winning you gain more points.
Right.
And then I get disconnected and it just feels like all that work is gone because it wouldn't let me rejoin the match.
Right.
I hope the team can do something about that, but I don't see how it would be possible.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I think that like the development team and the team behind doing all of that kind of stuff when it comes to matchmaking and that kind of stuff is second to none. So if anybody could figure it out, they definitely could figure it out. Yeah, I think it just takes time to grow. And again, like Overwatch is still a very young game as well.
Yeah.
Well, I guess one of the other questions that kind of relates to that too is like, are there any considerations that can be taken like mid-match? Like if someone leaves, for example, like it's hard to determine whether or not people will start doing this on purpose so that the rest of their team can get boosts. But like, is there some type of because you know you'll lose a certain number of points if you lose. Would you lose less points if someone leaves your match or something like that? Is that something that maybe could make sense?
I can't speak to that. I don't really know.
Okay.
I do know that the development team is very in tune with like Like I think this is, I'm able to talk about this, like the percentage thing.
Yeah.
They've already stated like it feels awkward, right? Like, and that comes directly from listening to the community and hearing community feedback, and so it's something that, you know, every week we sit down and meet with the developers and we go over the feedback essentially, and I think, yeah, I mean it's something that, like, every piece of feedback is being listened to and internalized by the developers to figure out how things can run more smoothly.
Legit. I like it a lot. This is
So you like that very PR answer I just gave you?
That was good. That was very good. One question that we got from someone in the chat, I think it's more of a riddle than a question. Why are pine trees green?
Oh man, why are pie and trees green?
Pine trees.
Why are pine trees green?
Yes.
Oh man, I don't know.
Bree, do you
There's like a similar riddle in Fargo though.
I don't know.
Yeah, I have, because if they were red, they'd be red trees. That's not what he said. That's just me guessing what the answer is.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like it could be a joke. Like someone could buy that was a joke.
Yeah.
Is that like what happens when you throw a blue rock at the Red Sea kind of joke?
Oh man.
It
Well,
gets
this
wet.
podcast has taken a very interesting direction. I'm excited
Yes.
to see where these jokes are going. Some more
I
riddles.
swear, if Chris comes
Maybe do
up,
logic puzzles, you know, like get some Sudoku on there.
proud of that.
It was supposed to be here and it's not here.
We're
So-
gonna call him out a little bit.
Yeah.
A little
So
bit.
like we could have a Sudoku thing up here. We could have had one had he just said, "Hey, I'm not going to be here," you know.
Hold on.
So-
I got. You know what? We're gonna put Sudoku up there. We're gonna. It's gonna be an image, but it's gonna be up.
Like a picture of Sudoku?
Yes. Hashtag not even joking.
And that is the move that Ryu does in Street Fighter.
Hadouken.
Sudoku. Yeah, I'm not a fighter game guy.
Oh, I love fighting games. I love them.
Oh yeah.
Well, I feel like there's a story there that I would love. I would
Oh
love.
yeah, I used to work for Mad Cats, and we used to do all the cool fight sticks and stuff. And I wanted to be a cool fighter man, and I can't be a cool fighter man. So I'm suck at all of those games. But you know, like
because you started
Tekken
using
1.
the arcade sticks, or is it?
Oh no, it's just because I suck and I can't play fighting games whatsoever. Yeah, I'm not great at like following directions. So having like, oh, you press these buttons and then you do a thing. I don't like that.
Just mash buttons.
But we have part of our stuff and junk part of the podcast, which is stuff kind of outside of gaming, outside of the the theme. And something that's kind of a little bit of a sensitive topic, so I can understand totally if there's certain things you don't want to talk about pertaining to it. But with the more recent rise in violence being streamed on Facebook, some of the beatings that's been going on, especially with some of the political stuff that's been happening, and recently the Steve Stevenson murder that was brought on, is making people more prone. Is it making people more prone to commit violent acts now that they have access to more ways to share those experiences, or do you feel like that's not really a thing?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think you're always going to have this balance, or not balance. You're always going to have this with video games. I think it will continue to subside as years go on. Like I read an article the other day that said killing in VR should be made illegal because it produces the same sensation as killing in real life, or it is the same. But like, this person didn't provide any evidence other than basically just saying like, well, it's the same, so it's the same. Like, there wasn't any like, and it's just, you're always going to have this kind of stuff. I completely disagree with that. I mean, I think that ultimately, like, I always like to wonder, like, if Mark Zuckerberg didn't exist, or if Tom from MySpace didn't exist, like, would we have done social media in the same way? Would we have ended up here? You know, like, because like a lot of how we present ourselves in our social media culture does relate to how Twitter was created, how Facebook was created. Like, we interact in these ways because these platforms were created around us. And I wonder sometimes, like, if somebody else founded, you know, all of these different social media platforms, would we ultimately just end up where we are today, or would it be a completely different? Exactly. And I don't know the answer to that, to be honest, but I do feel like society's going to go, you know, and they're going to progress and advance, and technologically we're going to, you know, we're going to eat the sandwich. Like, we're going to go to that place in terms of being technologically advanced. Nobody's going to stop us. And, you know, like, even for all of the pontificating of like, should we stop ourselves? Like, none of that is actually going to change the fact that, like, we're inevitably careening towards a much more connected society and a much more social media driven society. And like, that's a part of all of our culture. Like, I can't remember what anything felt like not having a smartphone, but I do know there was a time in my life that I didn't have a smartphone.
Very different time.
Right, exactly. But I don't think that, like, I don't think when my interactions with people were any more or less meaningful. I think it's all a matter of perspective. Like, I remember having LAN parties, and LAN parties were fucking great. They were. But I also remember playing Destiny in the first week it came out with a bunch of people that I'd never met before, spending 8 hours in a fucking raid. Yeah. And like, that's a different type of feeling. It's just a feeling that advances with the times. So for me, I just feel like yeah, live video is going to be a thing. And because of that, by nature of that, people doing horrible acts on live video is also going to be a thing. Yeah. Just like, you know, people sharing their birthday parties are going to be a thing, or people using Skype to connect with each other across the country, and loved ones that don't get to see each other. Like, there are so many great things that come out of this stuff. And looking at all of the very awful things that come out of this stuff is important as well, in reflection of our culture. Yeah. But I don't think that, I think those things exist alongside each other. Yeah, independently of each other. Oh no!
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
But yeah, it's always an interesting topic. But I think you look at like, for instance, like Overwatch, you know, we have a game that has a lot of shooting in it, but it's not what the game is about. And it's not the core of the game. And we live in an industry that's completely diverse as well. And there's a diverse amount of games that you can play that's growing completely. Like, it's not all just first person shooters and stuff like that. That's the part that gets me when people try to tie violence into this stuff, is like, do you not know that we like live in a time where, like, we lived in an era where like Mortal Kombat and that style of game was like the only style of game that you could play. Like, Blood Bowl was more popular than like Madden. Like, I think that there's just a level of like, we've moved on from a lot of that. But people are always going to bring that back up. CNN, the first like 20 minutes that shooting was happening, were like, it's like a first person shooter. It's like, Oh yeah. They said, one of the guys on CNN was talking about the Facebook Live shooting, and was like, it's eerily similar to a first-person shooter. And I'm like, you have no fucking evidence to support what you're saying. But that's changing, I think. It's just going to take time for that to change. And education. And our generation, I think, is really a huge component of providing that education. And we'll grow up, and one day our generation will be the parents, and we'll have grown up on games, and we'll be like, yeah, that's not fucking true. Like, so it'll shift. I don't know, man. I mean, honestly, like, look at history. Look at how violent history was. I mean, and that's but like, you can't even conceptualize being drafted to World War II. And I mean, like, there are so many horrible things that this country has done, and we're like, on in the terms of spectrums of horrible things, we're like in like the less horrible, 50%, right? Say, we were probably like right on that line, to be honest with you. But like, that's the world that we live in. I think, like, again, people. And back.
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
Good. It is all good. We are back in action.
But yeah, I think people just confuse, are we desensitized, or do we just have a greater awareness? Yeah. And like, dude, yeah, it sucks. Like, we have a lot of problems in this country that, like, because they keep occurring, we are then kind of just like, what the hell? That's how it's always gonna, and it can't be like that. I mean, it absolutely cannot be like that. Like, we definitely need people to, but like, to blame video games for that is not the answer, I think.
Well, I have a question for you then, Mitzi. Do you feel more desensitized seeing some of these really terrible things happening like this, or do you feel like you just have more awareness now of it happening?
There is more awareness. Like, I always watch my surroundings anyways, but there should be more awareness, and we should all bring out when we see negative things like that. Yeah. But also help people. Like, the little things you can do for people can't change so much. That's true. So we should all just help each other, even if they're angry, if they're sad, anything. Try to help them out, even if you're just there to let them cry on your shoulder, legs, wherever people like to cry on. But be there for them. If they're angry, they're giving you a phone call, because I heard that's the reason why the guy went out and shoot, was because his grandma or his mom? Somebody didn't pick up the phone for him?
No, his girlfriend broke up with him, and he wanted her to pick up his ex-girlfriend's mom wasn't picking up the phone, as well as her, and so he decided. Yeah, but little things like that we should all pick up. We should all pick up the phone to whoever's calling you for help. It doesn't take any more than a minute. But sometimes, yeah.
I mean, sometimes, but if they're crying, you're just like, bro, not right now. I'm just kidding.
I think that's like, I think that's one of the things that's important to note about our culture, is that, like, with the rise of social media and with the rise of, like, all of this stuff, just comes so much more noise. And life gets really loud and really fast, and it's very easy to kind of just lose sight of what's important, and what's present. And I mean, I think that's, as all of that noise grows, there is some of that noise that is very much focused around, like, positivity, and it's just about honing in on those things and surrounding yourself with those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't blame video games, though.
No, I would not blame video games.
It's crazy.
No, there's like parents that wouldn't even supervise their kids. Like when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, there were kids that were buying Grand Theft Auto, and then they'll get their grandma to buy it for them. Like, that was
Metal Gear Solid 1 for me.
Dude, I love that game.
I knew my parents were not going to let me buy it, so I borrowed it from a friend, and I would go over to my babysitter's house and play it.
That's legit.
I think we all did that.
My favorite franchise.
Go to my babysitter's house and play Metal Gear Solid. You went to my babysitter's house too?
Well, not.
She was your babysitter.
Oh no! It's all coming full circle. All right, we need a more positive thing to like end this on than like.
Yeah, well, I was actually just about to say, was there anything else you guys wanted to bring to the table before we bring to the amazing podcast that we've been having? I just
want to say that jet fuel can't melt steel beams, and let me take it right. Like we're just gonna go to an even darker direction.
Yeah, right to the jugular.
No. I would say, play Uprising.
Yes.
Play the Uprising PvE event.
Oh my. Are we getting more? You probably can't answer this, but I'm going to ask anyway.
I'm pretty sure we are. Though.
Are we going to get more of them? More very different events that happened?
Of events that exist?
Of like the PvEs?
I don't know. I mean, if I said to you right now, we're done. We're not doing any more content ever.
No.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe that. So I don't know what to believe, to be honest with you.
Would cry.
Yeah, that's it. That's all the Overwatch. Kaplan's next video, he's going to come out and he's going to say, "That's it. We're done."
Overwatch was a mistake, everybody. We're done.
It was a mistake. This is all not happening anymore. And I better not see any cosplays at any upcoming events. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're shutting down. We're really shutting down the Overwatch protocol.
Oh my god. That would be terrible.
Somebody make a meme.
No, play the Uprising event. Try it on all heroes. Try to get a high score. Continue to just be the most amazing community ever. And I think that's all I got.
Yeah.
I think that's all I got.
Yeah.
I'll be at E3.
Yes, I'll be at E3 as well. Bree, are you there?
We're do some drink.
I'm waiting for my friend to get back on me on that.
Okay, so you might have a chance to.
You're going?
Yes, I'm going. I am. Shout out to Square Enix for hooking it up. I'm gonna leave it at that. They pulled through super hard. So shout out to them. I'm really excited to go and like see even more people. I've never been to E3.
Oh man,
me neither.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a really good time.
Yeah, we definitely got a party, dude. That'll be so fun.
E3's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
Absolutely. With that being said, everyone at home who was watching this live stream, thank you for being here. It means a lot to all of us. It's been so awesome. To people who are also on Beam, thank you for being on there. Appreciate that. For the YouTube and iTunes crowd, thank you for listening to the archive of it. And if you ever want to watch the podcast live, just head over to twitch.tv/blackoni or beam.pro/blackoni. But
if you're watching this on the VHS tape that I sent you, then it's only 30 more minutes and you get the free hotel for the timeshare. So seminar's coming up right after this.
Either that or some creepy lady's going to come out of the TV and try to take your soul.
Yeah. Have you guys ever done a timeshare?
Wait.
No.
I'm just looking for a few good investors to go in on this place with me.
Uh-huh.
That's not a real thing. It's not a real thing.
I'm just like, it sounds like the beginning of a scary movie. Here we go.
Yeah, pyramids. I'm gonna start doing pyramid schemes. If we continue, I'm just gonna start pitching you guys on pyramid schemes. So.
But yes, where can people go to get more of Mr. Sean Allen?
Just follow me on Twitter @AlsoRobots. That'll be great for my self-esteem. So.
Mm-hmm. Also, play Overwatch. Make sure you guys are following.
Yeah, play Overwatch, but you should be doing that. What are you doing?
You have to. You have to follow it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to know what's new? Follow Play Overwatch.
Yeah. You want to know what's new on Destiny? Follow Play Overwatch. What Call of Duty's doing? Just follow Play Overwatch.
Crossover confirmed. Hey, you heard it here first.
Us, we'll tell you.
And where can people go to get more of Brigietta?
Follow me on Instagram for my self-esteem as well on Mistress Death.
And you will be streaming more, hopefully.
No.
Yes.
I should stream how I'm doing with Zarya actually.
Yes, we all want to see that.
I feel like I'm doing fantastic.
Do an all Zarya stream.
Just everyone.
I know.
Sorry.
Hey, if you want to be my personal healer, please just call. I don't know. Slip into my DMs and please tell me.
Slide.
I'll take any healer. Just slide in my DMs. Tell me, hey, I'll be your personal healer.
Oh, so good. And yeah, you guys already know you're locked in at Black Oni, so youtube.com/Will Wiggins, because someone else already took Black Oni. I'm working on it. And yeah, all the other stuff.
And listen, to the guy that took Black Oni, I mean, what is your deal, man?
What's the fucking problem?
Don't worry about this. Don't mind this. I just want to say, man, like, what's your deal, guy who took Black Oni? Give it up.
He's probably inactive as well.
Yeah,
Oh, he's super inactive.
There you go. Oh my
like my
God.
gears.
Yeah.
And what was it? Was it Jeremy was supposed to be on?
Well, no.
We're
Jordan.
gonna call him
Who's that?
Jeremy
Jordan.
now.
Jordan?
Is that-
What the fuck?
It calls
Jordan?
something different every time.
What the fuck, man? It's such a good time.
Oh, this was a really good time. I'm really happy we brought you on, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, guys. It was spectacular. Had a
And
great
a
time.
little plug for Chocolate Thunder. We're going to have Mr. Sean Allen on for Chocolate Thunder as well. And that's going to be
I'm excited.
a ton of fun as well.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Everyone else at home, thank you for watching. There will be more live streaming on today. We might play some more Overwatch. Might play a little something else extra. We'll see.